In this section, we'll dive into the specifics of metrics, traces, and logs, and how this work in practice. Now we'll be exploring this telemetry data using some available open source tools, and these tools includes Prometheus, Jaeger, and Grafana. Now if you don't know what these tools are, don't worry, since these tools are now a prerequisite for following along in this course. All you need to know for now is that Prometheus is an open source application that collects metrics, stores them, and provides a powerful query language for accessing those metrics. Jaeger, on the other hand, is a tool for querying and visualizing your distributed tracing data. And Grafana, you can think of Grafana as another open source application that enables us query and visualize our telemetry data. In this case, we'll be querying this data from Prometheus. Now we'll be doing all of this using an application that's already instrumented with Telemetry, an astronomy store provided by the OpenTelemetry project. So the astronomy application we're going to be using is a distributed microservices application that's already instrumented to mimic a real-world environment. So as you can see on the screen, this is what the architecture of this application looks like. You have traffic coming from the internet, which hits a front-end proxy, and then this front-end proxy can route traffic either to our front-end or to the different microservice applications that we have internally. You have a checkout service, an accounting service, fraud detection service, a CAT service, a currency service, an email service, payment service, an ad service, code service, a product catalog service, shipping service, a recommendation service, and a feature flag service. As you can see, this is a bunch of services, but what we're primarily concerned about is the communication between these services and what kind of telemetry data we can get out of this. Now this application is already instrumented, so it already produces telemetry on its own. Now further down below you have the telemetry data flow. Now this tells you the flow of telemetry data in this application. First of all, we have the microservices which emit telemetry data either using gRPC or the HTTP protocol to our hotel collector. Now, I know we haven't talked about what the hotel collector is, but in a while you understand what's the hotel collector. For now, just think of the hotel collector as a middleman that pre-processes all telemetry data that comes from our services. So our services sends this telemetry data to our hotel collector, and then our hotel collector pre-processes this telemetry data and then exports it out. Now you can think about this like the water processing system we talked about in the previous video, where you have receivers or the source of your water, and then you have processors and exporters. So in this case, hotel collector instruments the same OpenTelemetry pipeline. So this metrics that comes in from our application comes all the way to the hotel collector, which then receives it, processes it, and then sends it out using our exporters. In this case, we have two exporters. The first exporter is Prometheus, so this metrics are sent out to Prometheus, which collects these metrics and stores them in its internal database, which is the TSDB. And then it exposes this metrics on a port 1990 for querying. Now remember, when we talked about Prometheus earlier, I told you Prometheus provides a powerful query interface to our metrics data. So these metrics that are collected and stored are also exposed by the Prometheus server for querying. And then you have Jaeger, which instruments its own collector, and it also receives our tracing data. It stores this tracing data on the Jaeger database and also exposes this tracing data for querying using the Jaeger collector. And then we have our Grafana server. So what Grafana does is pull these metrics or traces from each of these components and provides an interface to visualize them. So Grafana pulls these metrics from Prometheus based on our queries, and then you can plot charts to visualize these metrics or traces on Grafana. And then finally, you have the browser UI for Prometheus, for Grafana, and Jaeger. So these are all the query interfaces that we can use to access or gain insights and see what our data actually is like, right? So we can see what the tracing data that's stored is like, or what the metrics data that's stored by Prometheus is like using the browser UI. And that's it for now. In the next video, we're going to look at how we can set up this application locally and start exploring. So see you then.